Good evening, and welcome back to another edition of the MyT Sports Podcast. I'm your host, the one and only. What am I calling myself these days? Talon El Idolo Deportivo Taylor. But you know me, aka Mr. Energy, aka Talento My Taylor, aka the Army Black Knight, aka the Motor Mouth of the South. It's been a while since I had to give you guys the AKAs. We got a big show for you guys. Happy New Year's again. It's January 9th. Current temperature right now is a wonderful 65 degrees. You know what I mean? I'm gonna open up this window. Let me see what outside feels like. I really shouldn't do this. Cause you know nigga got holes in his I ain't got well, I do too. Nigga got holes, and you know that mesh ain't properly sealed around the edges. You start getting little fucking fruit flies and shit. I'm gonna close that shit. Have it back. I don't know why I went through all that. We got a big show for you guys today. I hope you guys realize we got a really big show for you guys today, right? National College Football Playoff Championship just ended. The fuck for? But college football playoffs just ended. It's okay. I'll get you back up. We have a Blue Chew. Actually, we got another Blue Chew promo code to give to you guys. Damar Hamlin has been released from the hospital. I don't think there's much more we're going to get into than that. Just let you guys know that Damar Hamlin has been released. And we'll give you guys an update when we hear anything more about it later on in the week. KD has got injured. We have birthday shout-outs to give out. We got the birthday shout-outs. We definitely got the birthday shout-outs to give out. We got the Jets. We got the Jets receiving their 5th place prize. We got the playoff picture. That has been solidified. We have all that and more coming up next on the MyT Sports Podcast. But you know what we say here, regardless of the time, regardless of the weather, it's always a blast here on the MyT Sports Podcast. Hey, yo, Coach, drop some balls for them real quick, if you don't mind.
You play to win the game. Hello?
That's really it. Before we get into the sports, let's do what we like to do here, right? And let's get into all of our birthday shots. Welcome to the MyT Sports Podcast. I know we're running late right now. It's the MyT Love Hour right now. So right now, right, I'm expecting you, listen. So you have yourself a little bit of cognac, a little bit of scotch, a little bit of whiskey, a couple of cubes of ice on that sucker. Turn it around, get yourself a nice stiff drink. Before you give your girl a nice stiff one, before the end of the night, or you receive yourself a nice stiff one before the end of the night, you know how that go. Roll up yourself a J. Start getting comfy. It's late. This ain't the stress hour anymore. We gonna go through these real calm. It's gonna be hard though. It's gonna be hard. I've been emotionally distressed this whole entire weekend because of sports. I really have. But that's the reason why we step aside at the beginning of every single show. We like to start off the show with a nice little party. And what we do is that we give a birthday shout out to everybody that had a birthday since the last time that we was on air. After the 500th episode on Wednesday, we took a little bit of time off. We didn't come on the show on Friday. Nah, we completely detoxed. I'm telling you, it was like a adrenaline rush. I ain't do shit Thursday. I ain't do shit Friday. I ain't do shit Saturday. I ain't do shit Sunday. Well, I did a little bit of shit Sunday. It was finally on Sunday, but the energy finally started coming back into me. And even today, I was still a little bit yo, I don't know if I'm fully recovered yet. I don't know. These serotonins ain't fully packed back up yet. They used to replenish themselves a little bit sooner. I guess every Molly was really taking scoops of ice cream. Oh man, let's get the birthday shout out going. You like that? I like that. You like that? I like that because it's your birthday. We said it's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. But because it's your birthday, we sing happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. All right, we got a lot of birthday shout outs to give. We got 5 days of birthdays to give out. We got 5 days of birthday shout outs to hand out. So let's go ahead and start throwing these birthday shout outs out the way. Hey yo, Redrick, let's go get these clappers going. There we go. First birthday shout out I'd like to give out is to my homegirl Trisha Phillips. But this is back on the 5th, folks. We take it all the way back to the 5th. What's going on, Lily? How you doing? I want to say happy birthday to Trisha Phillips. Her birthday passed on the 5th. Happy birthday to you. She just dropped the hit single not too long ago. I think about maybe like a year ago now. She dropped the hit. I don't know if a year ago now, but it's been like about a year ago. So she dropped the hit single. Met the hit single. He's adorable. Runs all over the place. Tries to take food right off your plate. He's adorable though, right? But shout out to Trisha. Shout out to the fam. To the hit single. Happy birthday. Want to say happy birthday to my Uncle Mark, right? It's his birthday as well. I actually gotta give you an official like birthday text or whatever. Make sure happy belated birthday. Want to say happy birthday to my Uncle Mark as well. Love you, Uncle. Also, next want to say happy birthday to one Gregory Shaw. Greg Shaw happened to be our owner in a private company we used to work with back when we was hustling warranties. Just let you guys know all those sales. I mean, statute of limitation is on these things. Right, but let me the Greg Shaw as well. Right, also in there. Let's move over to the 6th. Right, and then the 6th of December. Right, I got a cousin of mine. So I got a birthday. Want to say happy birthday to the little cuz Jason McDonald. If I'm not mistaken, little cuz already dropped his hit single already. Damn, how old is your kids? Sheesh. Like I was telling my nephews recently, I was like, yo, one of you motherfuckers gonna have kids before me. That's what you know. One of my nieces and nephews is gonna have kids before me. Which one of you is gonna be? Yo, take that. Yo, listen, take it from your uncle. Don't do that shit till you ready. Niggas just turned 22, 21, 20. Welcome to the podcast. All my podbean listeners. What's going on, cop son? I just copped something a little bit earlier today, son. You know what I mean? I want to thank everybody that listens on Podbean. As you guys know, the Podbean app is how you can call into the show. But not only do the Podbean app, you can also call into the app to the personal phone line if you have my phone number, and we also accept calls through the Instagram line as well. We take that through there as well. So we have 3 ways where you can call the show and call into the podcast if you would like to join. And also, just drop some comments in the chats. That works too. That works too. We respond there too. I take a look, see every once in a while to see who's trying to chat it up with me. That used to be Trisha's last name. It used to be Chateau. I used to call her Chat too much. It was the only way I could remember. It was the only way I could really remember what her name was. At least the last name, that is, right? Let's continue, right? I said I already did the birthdays for the 6th, right? Let's go ahead and give birthdays for the 7th. And I hope her birthday was on the 7th, right? Because it was the only day that I had an empty slot for. All right, but I want to say happy birthday to Lorena Rivero. Yo, Lorena, yo, deep blessed happy birthday to you. I am sorry I missed the festivities this weekend. That's my apologies. I was an asshole that was not paying attention to the time. Like if you ask your husband, it wasn't until about 3:00 in that afternoon I was finally checking my phone to see what time the event was, and when I saw it was I needed to be there at 10:45. I was like, what the fuck? I wasn't even awake yet. I really wasn't. I wasn't even awake yet, and I did nothing. And I really did nothing this whole entire weekend. I know you guys are going to the Coens. I missed that. By the time I took a shower, right, finished packing all the joints and shit. Looked at the time and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it in time. Like, it's gonna be late. I'm telling you, I did nothing. When I said I did nothing this weekend, you understand? You know what? Let me put a little note down about the nothingness I did. Because I'm gonna tell you how much nothing I did. Like, listen, you would think that missing the birthday party or your birthday would be the worst thing that I've missed, and it kind of is. But you'll understand how that one was toppled a little bit. You'll understand how that one was toppled. So, I want to say happy birthday to Lorena Rivera as well, right? Happy birthday to you, and I'm so sorry for missing it. And I will be, you know what? I'm gonna miss Slugger's birthday too. I already have tickets to an art show that day, so I'm definitely gonna miss Sluggo's birthday. But I'm gonna send my condolences. Like, give me her cash app. Like I'll drop like $17 away or something like that. There's 17, right? $17 for 17-year-old, right? That's how we do it these days. I don't know. I'm joking, but figure something out. Let's continue to move on, right? Want to say happy birthday to also Joy Canasado. Happy birthday to Joy as well. Joy is an alumni of Connecticut School of Broadcasting, right? Um, her babysitter and my mom used to work together. Some weird connection like that. But also, let's talk about the real connection. Like Joy happens to be one of the owners, founders, CEOs, runners, orchestrators, organizers, right? Major organizers of Platinum Pro Wrestling, right? She's married to Road Dogg, like. So I don't know how they split duties and stuff like that. You know what I'm trying to say, right? But right, I've known her. I got the position for the ring announcer at Platinum Pro Wrestling because of Joy. So I always want to thank her for that. I always want to give big shout out to that. That's always a blessing. Well, we could have a next show. What's going on here? I'm about to have me out here freelancing, freestyling, and free bowling. Like, what's going on out here? My bad. I got caught up in my freeze. But no, definitely big shout out to them. Like I said, she met her at Connecticut School of Broadcasting when she graduated before I did. But met her there while she was putting on her show at the time. I think it was What's Trending at the time. I think that was the show that she had. And they needed a ring announcer, asked me to come through. Next thing you know, that was 2017. And here we are, 6 years later, still affiliated with them. Last year was kind of slow. Let's hope that 2023 brings back up more. What's wrong with it? Not consecutive, consistent pace. Blessings on blessings. And lastly, for today, we have a birthday for one Chris Silvio. Chris Silvio may have met probably 2 or 3 times, also through Platinum Pro Wrestling as well. If I'm not mistaken, at the time when I remember him there, he was either managing or partnering with. This is no longer her Genocide. That's her name now, Genocide. But I forget what her name is. It was 175 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal, whatever it was. You know how many pounds it was. But I'll never forget. And she also was the champion at the time too, when I remember her as well. But definitely big shout out to Chris Silvio as well. Wait, I feel like I forgot somebody. No, I didn't forget. All right, Chris Silvio. Now, I know if a lot of you guys are up and coming wrestlers, and right, you can. I know he's out there teaching a lot of. If I'm not mistaken, he's out there teaching a lot of the young wrestlers that's currently out there. I want to say in the Florida area. That's the only area that I know of. Right. But I do know I do see some things of him definitely putting in some schoolwork, right, and definitely helping the up and coming wrestlers get their time and get their shit together. Period. So let's go ahead and bring them all into the room, right? Get all the birthday people out of here, right? All right, let's scoop them all up. So to Trisha and to my Unc and to Greg and to Cuzzo and to Lorena and to Joy and to Chris, we want to wish you all a happy birthday. We hope you party hard. You enjoy everything. Whether the weekend just passed or you doing on the weekend coming up, at some point in time, you should have gotten your weekend at Bernie's on. But more importantly, right, you stay safe and you continue to stay MyT. Yeah, something like that. Hey, yo, DJ MyT, do me a favor. Hey, yo, cut that beat. There we go. Thank you. Let me talk about this nothingness that I did, right? I had to write that down. Let me talk about this nothingness that I did. Wednesday night ended the show. Thursday, I know I did nothing. I absolutely did nothing. I think I slept most of Thursday evening. Once I got off of other money making opportunities. Right? I didn't take on any additional jobs that day. Just kind of slept. Friday, still felt exhausted. Didn't run the podcast. Woke up crazy late. Didn't run the podcast. Now, I want to say it's Friday night. I got an invitation for something that I generally would never pass up on. Really and truly. But again, it was one of those things. By the time I got the invite, I'm looking at the time. I'm like, yo, I'm going to have to run through the 3 S's, right? Figure out the attire, head out there. Got to get some weed. And then I had to make a pit stop. Right? There was a pit stop request being made. I'm thinking to myself, like, damn, by the time you get out there, it's going to be like 1, 2 o'clock. Easy. Just by the time you get out there. I know. That makes me sound old because there was a time I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I was just leaving the crib at 1 o'clock. But I told you, I've been exhausted, right? Like my energy wasn't up to par this whole entire weekend. I tell you, it really felt like I was going through a complete detox. Like all of like I was really waiting for all of the energy to replenish in the body because episode 500 was wild. Like I'm telling you, it was like a blur to me. Like so I passed up on probably something I never ever pass up on a regular basis. But I was already comfy. You know what I mean? Like you're already in bed. Like even though I took a nap, woke up late, didn't do the pod. I was already back in bed and cozy again. Like, yo, you know what? Like I just didn't feel like leaving it. Like I got something to eat, and I was like, you know, I'm good here. I'm gonna relax. Then I got the message, and I was like, like I promise you, an hour and a half earlier, and I would have been all over it. Because I was still feeling kind of vibrant and moving a little bit, but then part of it was like, okay, I don't mind too bad. So I knew I had the party going on for Saturday. And then I slept until like noon without even going anywhere. Didn't even think the party was going on at noon. Didn't even think to check my clock until 3 o'clock to see what time it was going to be. Realized that they're already there since 10:45 in Aventura. I'm like, yeah, I ain't making it there in time. What y'all doing afterwards? Cones. Bet. Start packing up some weed. Right? Go handle, go handle one of the 3 S's. Getting ready to go handle the second of the 3 S's. And after the second of the 3 S's, which is the shower, I was like, yeah, I don't know. That's how you feeling it. Like I'm good. Grab one of those joints that I rolled up. And just relaxed. Finally left the crib Sunday, only because I had to go grocery shopping. Complete weekend of nothingness. And I say that, I say that surprised because they know very often that I just have a complete weekend of nothingness. So it's always feels surprising when I get a weekend just to chill and relax. We let the TV on back. So it's gonna be a quick show today. We don't have a 3-hour show for you guys today. It's gonna be a quick one today. I think today's show's probably gonna run maybe like about an hour and a half. Before we get into anything major sports, I want to thank everybody that came out to the 500th episode. Right? Hold on 1 second, cause I think I wanna. Hold on 1 second. Let's do this. I'm gonna quit this. All right, I'm gonna end this video on Instagram. Only because I want to make sure that this special shout out is done on TikTok for some odd reason. That's the only reason for it. So, hey, turn around. What? No, get the fuck out of here. Fuck these effects. Fuck I look like an effect for. Alright. So so before we even get anything heavy sports, I want to thank everybody that made it out to the 500th episode of the Mighty Sports Podcast. You guys made it super special. But what? And for the individual that made it super special, I want to give us a special shout out. Right? Special thanks. Special shout out to Bria. Definitely special shout out to you. Really do appreciate you coming out. Appreciate you bringing the family through, bringing your sis through. Right? Appreciate all the support. Right? So big special thanks to you, Bria. Want to say special thanks to JR for always being the older enthusiastic member for the MyT trivia. Yo, seriously, you definitely does make the hell did that come from? You definitely does make the segment. So big shout out to you, JR. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the big support. Shout out to the whole entire Brew crew for coming out. Appreciate the love. You guys are making boy feel special. Yo, big shout out. Yo, big shout out to Nikki for coming through. I do appreciate the support. You know what I mean? Each one, reach one, teach one. You know what I mean? Love gives love back, and that's all that means. And that's all that is. All right. Another special thanks to the family for coming out. The bro, the sis, mom, Dukes, cousins, nephews, nieces and nieces joining the podcast. I want to thank all of you guys. From deep down the bottom of the heart, thank you guys for joining the podcast. Thank you guys for giving me the support, giving me the love, constantly being there, constantly participating. You guys really have no clue how much it means to me. Really do love you guys for it. Thank you again. And forget, continue to stay. MyT. Let's get that process, and then we'll go ahead and head back over to. And then we'll head back over to Instagram a little bit later. What the hell's going on here? Stop this. What's going on with this nonsense? So again, let's mark the special thanks, and then we'll get this loaded up. This is just horrible. I don't even know what the hell that was right there. But I'm not even a fan of this. What's going on right now? Not a fan of what's going on right now. There we go. Let's put that right there. All right, now let's head back over to Instagram, man. Let's continue doing what we do. I definitely had to give a special thanks to all you guys. Like you guys have no clue how much it means to me that you guys constantly show up and support the podcast. It really does. I'm gonna get you your merch, Brie. I promise you, I'm gonna get you your merch. I'm gonna get you your merch by Valentine's Day. I promise you. I'll get you a red MyT sweater. Did you guys catch this national championship game? I know you guys did. Anybody on watching the Mighty Sports Podcast right now, I know you guys are transitioning from the national championship game. That's the only reason why you guys are up. You guys are maniacs. If you're up for any other reason, because I'm shouldn't be up doing a podcast right now, but here I am, podding my ass off, pod. Right? Cheers to all of you as well. Georgia embarrassed TCU, didn't they? Like I don't know what you guys said, but Georgia completely embarrassed TCU. And as I'm watching this game, right, and you see the blowout happen in the steamroll, and I swear to God, I'm looking at this game, and one point in time it was 35-7 in the fourth quarter, and then I look up and all of a sudden it's 65-7, and I'm like, what the hell just happened? It was 44-7. This game was a complete ISO. I barely paid attention to any of it. It just got up, and I can see why the people that kind of just wish for a good game, like the KJs of the world, like, you know what? They can't watch a game if it's a blowout. Games like this, where I don't have a lot of emotional ties to. I don't care about the quarterbacks. I don't care about the wide receivers. I don't care about none of these kids until they get announced that they about to be in the draft. I really don't. Like, it's honest with you. That's how I feel about college. That's kind of how I feel about college sports. Like, I'll care about you when you become professional. There's just way too many of you out there before then. Like, my memory has never been that good. Especially once I found the reefers. But I'm watching this. I'm watching this game. Like I said, most of the time I'm watching it with the volume off. I got wrestling on for the volume. Like, I was trying to find the Gervonta Davis fight. I missed that one. Hopefully, I find that before Wednesday's podcast. Hopefully, I find that before Friday's podcast. Let's keep it for real. So I want to make sure I get that out sometime this week. Excuse me. This is a complete embarrassment. And I'm telling you, as I'm watching this game, you know what really stood out to me the most was at the very end when the dude was doing the announcement, right, of who was gonna get MVP and he's handing the trophies, right, or whatever his announcements were, right. And I saw that his name was Bill Hancock, and I was like, oh, so you tell me that dude's name is Willie Hancock, and y'all gotta find another guy to put on television. But seriously, like somebody's got, like, you guys to do better. And honestly, like, whose man's is this playing quarterback? Like, whose grandpa is this playing quarterback for Georgia? Every time I look up, all I see is that Georgia's quarterback is just as old as Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson feel like he's been in the league for like 7 years already. Yeah, here comes this old ass man, like, being the quarterback for Georgia. Like you understand? Like, this dude is in the same club as Tom Brady, and he's had a membership just as long as him. Yet he's the quarterback for a college team. Him and Tom Brady has the same proctologist. Yet this is the quarterback for Georgia. Ultimately, right? Georgia going back to back in their championship. You know what? I find this. Not really ironic, right? But I find that interesting that Georgia now makes it to 2 back-to-back championships, right? Or to back-to-back championships. When there's always that cry for really what I'm looking for. Right. But there's always a cry to have different people winning, right? There's always that cry for that, right? Like, nobody wants that consistent winner, right? You want that variety. But it's just weird how that variety comes, because it's almost like everybody lately, everybody gets their, it's almost like people are getting their turn at the pie. Alabama, they got theirs for a couple of years, they ran through it. And then suddenly you get, but mind you, when Bama was going through it, you saw Clemson constantly knocking on that door, right? And then Clemson breaks through that door. And during the time frame that Clemson was, when Clemson was winning the championships, you suddenly saw behind them Georgia knocking on that door. And now you see Georgia here, pulling off their 2 chips. Alabama wishing they had the opportunity to stop them. But more than anything, I'm curious about who's going to be the next team knocking on that door. Who's now next, or who's been building up their program that is now their turn to come in here and get their 2-year championship run, whether it's 2 years back to back or 2 out of 3. Like, who's that next person? And I don't mind 2 out of 3 years, right? A new team winning a championship, because you always got to give it up for Alabama to still sneak one in there somewhere, right? I'm like, hey, it's not that easy. I ain't just gonna forget about us. And you know what's crazy? TCU lost this game 7-65. And they still played better than the Jets. And the Dolphins as well too. But are they picking beef for Shell and Benjamin now? Oh no. Bendito cabrón. That's not gonna be a wise move for you, Papi. But you know you got your little click behind you, so that may work. TCU still played better than the Jets and the Fins. Well, let's not get it twisted, right? Like I'm just more mad because I'm a Jets fan, and you've heard me say this already a couple of times. The Jets really came away with their fifth place prize, like the fifth place prize, and they had the first place prize right at their fingertips, First place prize. Believe it or not, right? For me, the first place prize for the Jets would have been just to come out of the bye week and go 500. I was realistic. I was super realistic. That was the number one priority. That was the first place prize to me, because that means you took care of all of your business. Do the bare minimum. Go 500. They would have finished 11-6. You know what 11-6 would have got done for you? But I say that because you know what? I didn't know what 11-6 would have gotten. But I'm reaching for 50% once you get out the bye. And whatever happens, just happens. See? That was the second place prize. First place prize, go 11-6. Just go 500 after the bye week. The second place prize would have been if by going 11-6 you manage to get into the playoffs. But if you don't, you know what? I'm okay. To me, the first place prize would have been a 500 record after the bye week. They couldn't do that. They dropped the first place prize. Very slowly, they worked themselves out of the playoffs. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they didn't work themselves officially out of the playoffs until week 17 against Detroit. That's when they finally hit that wall. So in week 17, there goes the second place prize taken out of your hand. Oh, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. Worser and worser. But no, it really does continue to go downhill from there. Or it's already going downhill, however you want to look at it. So, what I was hoping, okay, let's say you don't go 50% at the after the bye week. Let's say you don't automatically clinch the playoffs because of your good play over the last 8 weeks of the season. Right? My honestly second biggest prize, mine. Even though it's going to be third here on the list. My second biggest prize, still second, right? Would have been, because you guys would have looked at me crazy if I ever told you that my third prize would have been playoffs. But My second prize would have been that if the last game of the season against the Dolphins was for either team to have to come away with a win to make it into the playoffs. Basically, you win or go home. That was the scenario I wanted for the last game of the season. That got thrown out the window with the loss to Detroit as well. So no first place prize, no second place prize, no third place prize. So fourth place prize. Play spoiler. The Dolphins need to win to go in. Play spoiler. You haven't won here in 6 years. Play spoiler. Can't even get the fourth place prize. Now you guys understand what I said? Like, the Jets settled for the fifth place prize. And first was right there, literally at their fingertips. This has been rough. This was rough. I'm not going to lie. This was really rough. I didn't think that this can spiral down this bad, but it dropped bad. They had Joe Flacco in the game. He can barely move the ball. You understand this game was 6-6 for the majority of the game. Neither one of these teams can score a touchdown. And then the Dolphins just got smart and was like, you know what? We're gonna stop going for it on fourth down, right? We're gonna give you guys the long field, stop you again, and give ourselves the short field, and hopefully we can get a touchdown or put up a couple more field goals. And that's exactly what they did. Didn't think missing Bryce Hall would have caused such a downward spiral for the Jets. Really, Breece Hall did it all. Breece, however you want to say it. Once they lost him, they lost their whole entire identity. No quarterback looked good after that. And I know everybody likes, and they keep talking about Mike White this, Mike White that, Mike White this, Mike White that. Didn't like Mike White even before. Because for all the liking of Mike White they did, Mike White got a lot of liking and didn't win any games. Like they liking Mike White. Mike White is losing 3 straight games. But yet, Zach Wilson goes 6 for 2. The 2 games that he gets scrutinized the worst for is against against Bill Belichick in New England, where Bill Belichick in New England can make any quarterback that lacks experience. I don't care if you've been in the league 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, 9 years, 10 years. If you lack experience, he's going to expose you fully. So the Jets was so yeah. This game was disappointing. This game was more than disappointing because on top of them not fulfilling the spoiler role, they didn't even look like they had enough. They didn't come out like, yeah, fight. Like, I'm sorry. Their biggest play was a pass interference that Garrett Wilson drew. That's their biggest play. So it's not just talent, right? At times. It's also coaching. We see what coaching has made a difference in Buffalo. We see what coaching has made a difference in Detroit. We see what coaching has made a difference in New York for the Giants. Not to say that Rob Salah can't coach. This is his 3rd year. He's going to have to get consistency and get that offense flowing fast. I understand that the Jets defense was pretty much elite for the most season, right? But at times there's only so much you can do, right? There's only so much bend you can do. Especially if your confidence isn't in your offense. Right? Not even confidence in the offense. If you hold animosity towards your offense, that's probably the better word. Not the lack of confidence, because there's been teams that's won Super Bowl that really have a lack of confidence in their offense. But they haven't turned on them. This Jets team feels like at some point in time, the defense turned on the offense, but also the players turned on the quarterback. And listen, it could just be more to prove on why Zach Wilson isn't that dude if he allows a couple of guys wearing T-shirts to throw him off of his game instead of making his game making his game sharper. The Jets are gonna have, obviously, the coach isn't going anywhere, so they're gonna have to figure some things out. And it can't just be, oh, Breece Hall is here next. It's gonna be like, okay, we're gonna have to really get some pieces to start working, start adding to this team. Now, the good thing about this team this year, right, is that, or then coming up years, that the Jets have a lot of money coming up. They have a lot of free money. Even though their draft position may not be the best, they still have first round picks, right? Which means that you still have access. And can I also say, like, who cares if they have a high first round pick or not? When it comes to football, you just want to make sure that you have picks in the top 3 rounds more than anything else. And that they do. So it's up to you to find the guys that fill the needs, fill some of these wants, develop talent, and hope that you can somewhere in there. Like, what I would like, listen, if I'm the Jets, I'm not, no lie. If I'm the Jets, one of the things I'm doing in that first round, second round, I'm grabbing myself another wide receiver. Or if the best tight end in the game, right, in the draft, is falling to me in the first round, maybe I'm taking him. But you have your number 1 wide receiver, go get him a running mate. Or a running mate, you know what I mean? Because they have the running back. I think they have the running backs that they need. But again, and I'll get back to that. Right? But so you get him a running mate, get him another threat, so that they can't hone in on Garrett Wilson, that is, the whole entire game, double him and try to take away. If they do, then you get him burnt by somebody else, like what Atlanta used to do with all their wide receiving talent. Like, while Matt Ryan never won, you know, every single year they were trying to get dynamic wide receiver, dynamic tight end, dynamic wide receiver, dynamic tight ends. Do that. That defense seems pretty solid. Don't know what you're gonna do about quarterback in the offseason. People talk about Jimmy G, and the thing about Jimmy G, right? If you're San Fran and he likes it there and you can negotiate, why get rid of Jimmy G? He's like your ultimate security blanket right now. I just saw Chill Will pop up in the room. What's going on, Chill Will? I'm over here talking about how TCU played better than the Jets and the Dolphins combined this weekend. That's how we got down this path. So I don't see the Jets are gonna have a good opportunity to better their team in the offseason. Tons of cap space. They still have their picks in the first 3 rounds. Like I said, for me, it doesn't it doesn't matter that they don't have like a top 10 pick or a top 5 pick. I don't care about that. Lamar Jackson wasn't picked with a top 5 pick. Patrick Mahomes wasn't picked with a top 5 pick. Tom Brady wasn't picked with a top 5 pick. Aaron Rodgers wasn't picked with a. You understand? I do have to keep going on. That is what I was just talking about. Listen, you can find a good quarterback outside of the top 5 picks. That's what I'm trying to say. Listen, hey, listen. He throws a deep ball and he handles all the other stuff underneath himself. So, so I get it. Like, so for Jets, there's room for growth. I know automatically you find yourself like when Jet and like I said, it's what it is. It's group think or it's your automatic think or it's the pre-program that you've heard this so many times that automatically you hear that your team doesn't have like a top 5 pick and you haven't made the playoffs. You call yourself being in the hamster wheel, and as if still the job of an organization is not to find talent and develop talent. That still matters. What's that? Yeah, yeah, I'm still here. I'm still here. Listen, the rumors, the rumors end up being false. Couldn't find any proof. It wasn't my rumors. Yeah, but remember the reason why? Because I thought the rumor was racist and sexist. Well, I know, but it was a statement that has supposedly came out and this and that and the third, but that ended up being never confirmed. And he's had too many defenders from the community versus people saying like, yeah, yeah, like what happened with Phoenix. At the moment that shit came up with Phoenix, suddenly everybody, you know what I mean? That's why I gave it proper time. That's why I honestly gave it proper time to let it to really see what the hell was going on. Yeah, because for something like that, what happened? The Jets, the Jets. Well, they're missing a couple of things. Well, okay. So obviously the easy hanging fruit is the quarterback, right? The easiest thing that you need is a quarterback. Okay. So so probably the part that you miss is that so if I'm the Jets, right? There's a couple of things I want to address. A lot of things look solid for the Jets already, right? Why I'm still just it's just late night, Mo. Yeah, but that's still my area of concern. That's still my biggest area of concern right now. I'm gonna tell you why. The running back is what held us together for up until the bye week, basically. Right before the bye week is when he went down. After that, and he's a good quarterback. I mean, good running back, and so is Knight. Carter, they're good running backs, but they're not. So so right now, so let me get this statement out the way first, right? All of this is still contingent on development, right? Because if they're not developed right, they're not gonna live up to anything, unless they're just superb athletes, right? Just superb guys that can be great regardless of what obstacle is put in front of them as an organization. So so that's Bryce Hall. Bryce Hall is the guy that's gonna be good regardless. Knight and Carter, they need the scheming. They need the coaching. So let me tell you why the running back is, let's just call it ACL, right? I don't know if it was ACL. I don't know if it's his hamstring. I don't know if it's his Achilles. I don't know which one it is. But it doesn't matter to me in the in the grand scheme of things, because he's gonna come back next year and he's gonna look great and he's gonna go down injured again. Because I can't recall any of these athletes really over the last 10 years that's had those kind of injuries that is as dynamic or as fundamental to their team as these guys are, that don't go down again real soon. Normally within a year. KD, Kevin Durant, if I'm not mistaken, Adrian Peterson. I think, you know what I mean? What's that? Oh, sorry, I meant Klay Thompson. You know what I mean? So I have and they're not the only ones, like the ODB. So I'm starting to see this little weird pattern starting to develop. When the Achilles go out, you come back, and now it's a calf strain, right? Or you have the MCL that go out, you come back, then it's the hamstring. You know what I mean? So I'm expecting Bryce Hall. Yeah. So I'm expecting Bryce Hall to come back. I'm expecting Bryce Hall to come back, be good for 6-7 games, look as dynamic as he was, and unfortunately, end up right back on the sideline again. Only because I'm preparing myself for the worst case scenario here. I'm not wishing this upon anybody. So so now you understand. So now you understand. So now I understand why that's still my biggest concern is running back, because I have fear that as dynamic as Bryce Hall is and as good as he is, he's gonna go down again real soon. And if we're rolling like we were the last time, and he goes down, then we end up back in the same position. If we do that, I blame the coaches again, because again, all of this can be overcome by coaching. So if that happens again, then that's gonna tell me that Rob Salah ain't the dude. They're gonna have to. I understand it's only his third year, but you're gonna have to give me something more than, oh, if my dynamics ain't here, I can't coach up a proper running game. If my dynamics they don't do something, I can't coach up a proper passing scheme. So that's either on Rob Salah, or that's either on Matt or Mike or Mitch or Mikel LaFleur, whichever of those fucking LaFleur guys we have. Offensive line is not bad. They can do some work too. So the Jets have enough money and enough draft capital that they can adapt. There's nothing they have to go out and reach for. Add another running back. I actually want to ask him. I actually wanted to add another wide receiver or another receiver, whether that's a dynamic tight end or another wide receiver. I want them to add that to Garrett Wilson, so that he is no longer being doubled out there alone. Add another running back. Build up the lines, and then you can start. And then if you're the defensive guy that you say you are, you can pick defensive guys in the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th round, because you can coach those guys up. Because apparently you can't coach up offense guys, so pick them in the first 3 rounds. And hopefully those are your breakout guys. You know what I mean? Like so that's kind of feel about the Jets. Like they're good everywhere. They're good at the safety, but they can get better. They're good at corner, they can get better. They're good at wide receiver, they can get better. Oh, they're horrible at tight end. Horrible at tight end. They need a tight end, period. Right? They're good on the offensive line, they can get better. Can't remember. I don't even know his name. I don't know his name, and I swear it, baby, cause he plays like boo, 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 boo. So I don't know his name, huh? Yeah, he ain't breathtaking. Garrett Wilson. That's our young stud wide receiver. So yeah, and also, if I'm not mistaken, Corey Davis, who I'm not a big fan of anyway. Exactly. So, so that's what I've been telling you. So we're good everywhere. We can add a piece. We can add something to the off. Like I said, we're good offensive line. We can add another piece. We're good at defensive line. We can add another piece. We're good at wide receiver. I would like to see them add another guy. Really, truly add another guy that can. Okay, let's put it this way: add another guy that can make defensive pay if they decide to to double Garrett Wilson, or another guy that makes it. Yeah, but it's also a top 10 defense that lost faith in their offense. So yeah, yeah, so like I said, so they're there. So as I said, there's a lot of people. They're no longer in the place where they need something here and like they need all these pieces. They have now something everywhere. Now it's just to add on or to buffer it or to reinforce it. Like I said, if you actually had to ask me, probably like I said, offense is tight end, quarterback, and running back. I'm not quite, and then I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure how to. I'm not quite. Yeah, I'm just talking about from the skill position. I'm not even talking about the line position. You know what I mean? Like from skill position, I still want those three positions. Defense, I would still like another safety on the other side. So like I said, it's not so much what you're lacking, it's what you can strengthen now. That's where the Jets are at. They no longer have a lot of stuff they're lacking is what they can strengthen. And I would like to see them strengthen their running back core because of the injuries I'm afraid of for Brees Hall. They need a quarterback. I think I still hmm? No, you can't. No. You're not gonna get a better quarterback than Bryce than this time. But what you can get, oh, and I'm what? Then okay, put it this way then. Well, but because they'll probably use him differently. Because however, let's put it this way, he has not been as productive as Brees Hall has been in the same offense. If you just want to put so right now, it's either he's not as. I'm sorry. Yeah, and they even use him because. So so now you so now you understand what I'm saying. So not to me, not to no. That's what it sounds. Okay, so okay, chill will. I understand what it looks like and sounds on paper, but I'm telling you, as a person that watches the games, if Brees Hall was the reason that we were winning, and he was this dynamic as running back, those three guys have not been able to fill one of his shoes together. So no. Okay, no. So that's what I said. So none of these guys are guys that can overcome bad coaching. So Brees Hall sounds like he's the guy that could have. Everybody else, they needed better scheming. So like I said, we're asking about what you need from talent wise. I'm not because if I go into them needing, I already went into they need better coaching. They may need better scheming. That may be this may also be a bigger issue with whichever LaFleur but with LaFleur guy we got, right? But now I'm trying to say, okay, who can overcome bad coaching and bad situations? That's what Brees Hall did, right? Those other three running backs, those other three running backs have had the same opportunity that Brees Hall has had in this offense, and all of them look subpar. Yes. Mhm. All right. No, so that's what I'm saying. I'm saying he's the guy. I said he's the guy that's so good he can overcome. He can overcome a bad situation. He can overcome bad scheming. Okay, then you're. I just need a better. Okay, then I just need a better option. Then not then Brees Hall. Not then Brees Hall. I need a better option than Knight. I need a better option than Carter. I need a better option than Robinson. Then they ain't doing it. They're not. They're okay. They're not affecting winning. They're not effective in our. They're not effective in our. Okay, I'm sorry. Robinson's already been a journeyman, so I understand what he made. Okay, so let's. I'm not even going to count Robinson. He's already been a journeyman. I don't. Listen. His team didn't want him, and his team wasn't playing him, and now he's made. And now he made it to the Jets, and and, and he could barely beat out two rookies. He couldn't beat out any of the guys on the Jets when he came to the Jets. Okay, then. So chill. Again, because we're going around in circles here. You're looking at their talent. I'm looking at their productivity in the same position that Brees Hall was in. Okay, okay. So like I said, I can even go. I can even talk about talent. We can even talk about talent. We can talk about coaching. I've already put in the disclaimer for coaching. So if these guys can't overcome the coaching, then I need somebody that possibly can. Possibly. Oh, okay, then I get it. But I still need. But I'm saying, if we were the Jets were okay. I'm looking at this how the Jets were playing. The Jets leaned heavily on on their running back because Brees Hall ended up being that dude. Once he left, their whole entire offense went stagnant. None of these running backs could produce. It's really that cut and dry to me. They had his opportunities and they couldn't produce. Not one time could they produce an 80-yard game, a 100-yard game, a 50-yard game out of the backfield. I don't. So again, that's what the draft is for. No, no, okay, no. That's what the draft. Okay, that's what the draft is for. No, I am mentioning problems, and I'm telling you on how to address them in the draft. On so okay, okay. You'll know when the prospects start coming out to you. Because I also haven't looked one. Because one, I haven't. No, I haven't looked at. I haven't looked at the draft board yet. It's too early for me. I don't care. I don't care enough yet. So I'm paying attention to now because I have to look at now where the Jets are at and who can possibly falter. But like I said, there's a running back coming out. Grab one of them. See if you can catch somebody else that. Hey, no, what I'm trying to find better than them. That's what. Okay, I never said it was. I said it was one. I said it was one of my concerns. Yeah, No, get him in the third. Fight him in the third. Well, hopefully they can be better than just this version of James Carter and this version of Michael Carter. Get rid of get rid of Robinson. I understand what you're saying, but I'm still watching the games. I'm watching the Jets games, and I'm watching them not be. So find me a better. You say that they're number one picks. They're supposed to be this. They're supposed to be that, but they're not producing. Okay. No. Okay. So again, I see again. Sure, I've already addressed that part. Okay. I can either do talent or we could do coaching. Now, so what I'm trying to find is somebody. Then I gotta find. Okay, these guys. None of these guys could overcome our coaching. Find me somebody who can. Then I want two Jonathan Taylors. Yes, I'm exactly what I'm saying. I don't know. That's the thing. Nobody is. But listen, if this is where you're gonna make, if this is gonna be this, so, but it is possible. Okay, all I've said is that I have a my running back position is one of my biggest concerns, and I'm still and you're still not hearing what I'm telling you why. When Bryce Hall was in the game, we had a 7 and 3. Not even 7. I don't even think it was 7 and 3 yet. But I think our record was 6 and 2 or some shit like that with Bryce Hall in the game for us. Since he has left and everybody else has had a chance, we have gone 1 and 8. So this is where my concern comes from. With him, 6 and 2. Without him, 1 and 8. With Carter, with Robinson, with McKnight, 1 and 8. I get whatever they're supposed to be. Find me somebody else that can be what they should be. Find me the guy just find me the guy that doesn't allow me to have this. Okay, no. Find me the guy that doesn't allow this kind of drop off when my running back goes out. Because these other guys aren't it. Because I don't know who he is. I don't know who he is, but you go find it. Go find him in the go find him in the draft. Go find him in the draft and find him in the third round, and hopefully he becomes one of those breakout backs that can overcome your system. Because because you know why? It doesn't matter what their name is. It doesn't matter what they're projected to be. You just told me Carter was a first round pick, running first time. This guy was a first round pick, doing first round. Okay, okay. So all of these guys. Okay, so all of these guys. So all of these guys. So all of these guys have the number one potential and the number one abilities, but none of their abilities can help them win games for the Jets. And that's what I'm saying. Okay, it's part of. So so I get it. I'm not. No. So what I'm saying, if these guys aren't it, try to find somebody else that is. And all he and honestly, I'm hoping you never need him. I'm hoping that it just happens to be the guy that you got, and you picked him up in the third round as a security blanket. And when you got him and Brees Hall finally goes down, he ends up being the next guy that's able to continue taking the torch without us continuously falling down the rabbit hole. Because somebody had to stop. Because somebody had to stop this bleeding, and all of these other running backs weren't good enough to do it. I don't. It's probably the coaching, but that's a different issue. Right now, we're just talking about talent. No, you're not. Find me the guy that can overcome the coaching. That's what I've said. Like, like put it this way. Okay. No, 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 no. Okay, you know what? You know what? No, let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. What's the guy's name in the team I don't like to talk about it because until their owner denounces racist? Is it Scott Pollard or whatever, some shit like that? Tony Pollard? Who's the backup to Ezekiel Elliott? Okay, he's not some magical guy. He just happens that when he came in, he stopped the bleeding. Okay, then, but he wasn't seen as better than Zeke when he got drafted. Okay, then. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't need. So that's what I'm saying. Like, so hopefully you can follow me. I don't need that. I don't need that guy right now to be the number one running back that's coming out of college. I don't need him to be the number two running back coming out of college. I don't need him to be anybody you're considering the first and second round of college because we have those guys already, and those guys couldn't stop the bleeding. I don't know who this guy is, but I'm just telling you what you okay. Do you remember you asked me the question? You asked your question is what's my no your question is you asked me what's you asked me what's my concern about the Jets, right? You asked me what's my major concern about the Jets. My major concern about the Jets, outside of the quarterback position, from what I have seen this year, is the running back. Because once the running back went down, is when our team went down. So we need to find somebody that can hopefully help stop that bleeding. See, remember that. I'm not talking about how. So I'm not. So you didn't ask me. I didn't ask me about the talent in the running back room, or anything else like that. As me watching the Jets this year, I saw specifically when the running back went down, we went down. We got three of the running backs that couldn't help stop that bleeding. So let's try to see if we can find that patch. But also, I don't know. I don't even know that can happen. But also, that's why I said, get me another wide receiver, get me another tight end, or get me a tight end. Period. That's more dynamic than average Joe. Yes, and you can get better. Again, no, no, no. Okay. So no, no. So I know it is. I know it. But you asked me how do you improve, and this is how you improve. But it's not okay. No, no. But it is realistically. See again. Get me just again. All I ask. See, I don't ask for a lot. I asked for somebody that could help stop the bleeding when Bryce Hall goes down as running back because I saw what happened there. I asked for another wide receiver that can be dependable enough so that Garrett Wilson doesn't have to get doubled, or that second wide receiver can make defensive pay when you double Garrett Wilson. He's not okay, so he's not that guy. He's not getting the separation. He's not being okay. Then so okay. No, no, listen. I'm not. He probably will. But okay then. Again, So, but oh, chill, Will. So, chill, Will. Again, we're talking again. I can keep going back and saying this, but every time you keep forgetting this because you get worked up. We can either talk about talent or we can talk about coaching. Then the LK then everything about the Jets is a mute point until they find better coaching. So then you have to find the people that can overcome bad coaching. Garrett Wilson is my has because you know what you get because you know what they're called. You know what they're called? They're called breakout stars. They're called people that exceed their expectations. I don't. You understand? Yes. Yeah. So I said I can't. But that's what I told you. I have to separate the conversations. We either talk about coaching or we talk about talent. Hmm. There's a new GM though. Also the owner. I mean the GM did, but the GM. I think this GM is and this GM is doing good because this GM has made great draft choices. I don't have a problem with. See, no, but the GM is doing. No. Wait, no. So the general manager, the coaching. Okay, coaching is shabby, right? Coach, coaching is shabby. I can't remember because I can't remember how this coaching regime came to be. No. Listen to me. Like I don't remember how this coaching regime came to be and how I don't know if it was one of those weird dynamic. I don't remember. That's I don't want to speak up, but also because because general manager, coach, and offensive coordinator were all rookies in the same year. So I don't remember how this whole staff came to be. Right? Because remember, the NFL's been doing weird stuff of hiring coaches first and then hiring the general manager. And I don't remember if this was one of those scenarios. That's the only reason why. But but I'm gonna tell you this though. I don't. But I'm gonna tell you this though. I don't blame the. I'm not gonna give. I'm not gonna give the general manager a lot of ish because the general manager is picking all of these guys that you keep saying is talented. I'm not the. I'm not saying. I'm not saying. But it's not always that easy. You've seen teams. Yeah. Hmm. You still gotta. It seems like that, but you've seen teams miss on this before. See, but okay. See, as a Browns and a Jets fan, we've seen our team whiff on those picks too often. So if they get it right, if they so listen, the fact that they got it right, I'm still gonna give him credit for it because I've seen too many general managers in the past get it wrong. Come on, man. I've seen the Jets pick a wide receiver at the top of the second round that literally was called Stone Hands. Like come on, I've so I, 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 tight. No, not this GM is this is his first round. This is his first year. Oh no, second year, maybe. This is his second year. Either because he could have done something like go for defense, and then the offense still look as crusty and stacked. So Like the Jets had a lot of picks. This, the Jets had accumulated a lot of picks over the years, and he made the right pick. He made a lot of right picks with those picks. Again, I still will say good work to you because I've seen too many people fuck that up. I'm sorry. I've seen too many organizations mess up picks, mess up having good picks, mess up having a lot of picks to not at least okay, you know what? You did the right thing with your picks. That let's I'm not saying give him I'm not saying give him the Hall of Fame award for picks. I'm like, you know what? You did good, you did your job. Because I've seen too many people mess up in your position. Good job for not messing up. Now we got to figure out the rest of it. But like I said, everybody came into this position as neophytes, right? General manager, neophyte. Coach, neophyte. Offensive coordinator, neophyte. None of them had been in this position before. And I think it shows sometimes. Like I said, like my biggest still concern is the fact, how do you have this much talent in the running back room and you can't conjure up more 100-yard games total? But like I said, that depends on that. That depends on the mentality. Again, that goes back to maybe what coaching philosophy is or coaching style is. Was Matt LaFleur's coaching philosophy, are we going to run this ball? Or did they just manage, or they just happened to run the ball because they stumbled upon a Brees Hall? And once Brees Hall went down, then they stopped running the ball and they went more to a passing attack. And they only kind of fed in the run. And because with this much talent, I'm sorry, I'll be running the ball 35 times a game, especially with this goddamn quarterback. I'll be doing it like Rex Ryan. I'll be running the ball 35, pass it for another 35 times. But again, now when you have Garrett Wilson, so again, I asked for because I don't know who these people are. I just know what I need or what I require. I need somebody to stop the bleeding if Bryce Hall happens to go down again, because these three guys on it, that's the running back position. I need somebody in the wide receiver position. When Garrett Wilson gets doubled, he can take advantage of the defense. I need somebody that can do that. I need somebody at least good enough that maybe they don't even consider I'm doubling Garrett Wilson. I know that's probably not going to be the case. So back to the other one. When Garrett Wilson is getting all that attention, I need a wide receiver that can at least make the defense pay. Because again, I know the talent they're supposed to have and whoever they're supposed to be and whatever name they're supposed to be. The guys on the number twos and the number threes on this team, they're not doing it. Because if they broke away, if they flashed, if they were productive enough, they would be going to more. Guys like Joe Flacco, guys, okay then. No. I get it. No, I'm asking, I'm asking, I'm asking, I'm asking Christian Godwin. No, listen to me. I'm asking Christian Godwin to do his job when Mike Evans gets double. That's Tampa Bay. Oh my God, man. Chris Godwin. This Christian Godwin. No, Christian Godwin from the. I don't know if it's Chris. I don't know if it's just. It may be Chris Godwin, but because his name is Godwin, I call him Christian. Okay, I'll rename your ass in a minute. His name is Chris Godwin, but because his name is Chris Godwin, I call his first name Christian. Okay, I'm pretty sure his first name is Christian. Okay. So what I'm saying, understand what I'm saying then. If we have him, then they need to start doing these things. And if they're not going to do these things, we're going to have to find the Chris Godwin to Mike Evans. And you may say that they're there talent wise, but they're not producing like it. And I'm going to need the people that aren't just their talent. So, all right. So okay, I know. Okay, again, so but okay, you're asking me. Okay, we may have him, and it may be, and we may not find out who he is for 3, 4 years from now. I'm just talking about getting better now from this year. And listen, they may all get more comfortable because what it's going to be now their second somebody their second year, right? They're now getting more comfortable with the speed of the league. Okay, you know what I mean? So everything that I'm asking for, these guys may develop into next year because they were all neophytes this year, right? Again, our hope the Jets weren't even supposed to win 7 games. I'm gonna go back to the beginning of the season. If anybody told when people were talking about the Jets possibly winning 7 games, they were being laughed at. And I was like, I can see 7 games. Anybody that said the Jets, that's how bad the Jets were expected to be. They overshot expectations. So there's a big role for these guys to still grow into. And Chill Will, you're saying that hey, you have them, you have them, you have them, and you may be right. We may have them, and they may grow into their role into the next 2 or 3 years. But you asked me how did the Jets get better, and I'm telling you what I need to get better. So that means that either we go find them, or these guys that you say are that are the talent, then these guys are going to need to grow into that role. But right now, you ask me what I need. So you ask because of what I witnessed. Remember, it's a very specific scenario. It's not because I didn't think Michael Carter was good enough. Remember, again, you know how you know how good these guys are, right? Or how good they're supposed to be. So we don't have to go down that road. But they weren't productive enough this year. Now, again, they may be better next year because I'm my number one concern is what I'm thinking about is that I'm anticipating Brees Hall going down again next year. And if he goes down and we're in a similar scenario that we were this year, who do I have that can stop the bleeding? That's true. But okay, remember we started this conversation alleviating the quarterback. So who can help? Because remember, the quarterback was real comfortable with Brees Hall. Zach Wilson was 6-2 at that time, only losing to Bill Belichick. I think maybe one other person, maybe 6-3. All right. So who can you just get to? Who can either step up or you're gonna have to get because listen, they may not even go into the draft and get a running back. But all that's gonna mean is that somebody from that room is gonna have to show that if Bryce Hall goes down, which one of them can be the guy, or how can they collectively be the guy to help this team and not allow it to down like because I'm telling you it when he went down, everything changed. Again, I don't know what LaFleur's coaching philosophy was going to be. I don't know if he ran so heavily because he had Bryce Hall and Bryce Hall forced him to use the run game so much more, or if they really wanted to run that much. Because once he went down, we saw them collect all this running back talent. No, but that's what I'm telling you. From watching the games, I can't tell you what his coaching philosophy is. This is his first year or second year, whatever it is. I can't tell you what his coaching philosophy is. I can't tell you if he wants to be a pass heavy guy or a run heavy guy. LaFleur? No. No. You're thinking about Rob Salah, the head coach. I'm talking about the offensive coordinator. Well, I would think that most defensive coordinators want to, or in my, I'm gonna say right now, I don't even think I don't think that Rob Salah, and actually I'm gonna tell you this. In the beginning of his tenure, like the first half of his first year, he had no clue what was going on in the offense. He really let the offensive guys do their thing. He just managed it. They didn't like just manage them. That managed the offense. He managed them and let them do whatever the hell they wanted to do. Like he would complete like he was easy because he admitted like he completely checked had because he completely checked out on offense built like so many times in the first year. Like he was being criticized for it. And then but like I said, the Jets even have the Jets are accumulating talent. Now, the only thing about it, along with their talent, they're also so on top of them developing talent, the coaching staff is also developing as well. They don't have their own identity. They are working on themselves as much as the players are working on themselves as well. So I know nothing's gonna so I know nothing's gonna happen coaching wise this year coming up, right? Like or end of this year, like they're keeping Rob Salah. He's gonna he's gonna coach for a full third season. Who knows what it looks like after that? Because and this is why I want them to address certain things. Like go out there, like I said, the quarterback obviously they're gonna have to address. I'm still a fan of Geno Smith, not Geno Smith, of of God damn, I'm forgetting his name suddenly. Oh my God, my boy out of New Orleans, out of Tampa Bay, out of FSU, my golden goose. Just to grab him by the pussy yourself. The original grab him by the pussy. Is he original grab him by the pussy? Jameis Winston. There we go. I'm I'm still a fan of Jameis Winston, to be honest with you. And this is where you probably heard me. This is probably where you came in at. Is that I'm not sure if I hear Jimmy G's name a lot. And if I'm San Francisco, why are you getting rid of Jimmy G? He's been your ultimate security blanket. Like you keep him as long as he's willing to stay in San Francisco, you keep him. To be honest with you, so this is kind of where you can. What's that? What? Well, again, no, 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 no. That's what I said. As I said, as long as he will allow you to. That's the key words. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah. I don't. Yeah. I mean, no, 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 no. Like I said, if I don't know, I don't think they have a no. They don't have a choice. As long as he will, I said they should keep on the Jimmy G, as long as they'll allow him to. As long as they'll allow him to, like, as long as they would allow him to stay, like if he likes it there, and he'll take and for whatever reason he'll want, and you can find a way to keep him there, then you find a way to keep Jimmy G there. Like, but I don't see why they would get rid of him. That's what I'm saying. I don't see why they would get rid of him. But I'm still I don't know how I feel about Jimmy G. I don't know how I feel about Jimmy G. Yeah, but San Fran is one of those teams that I think that you can put a lot of quarterbacks in there, and they would look considerably better than how they would look if they were on the Jets. I don't know how much of Jimmy G is Jimmy G and how much of Jimmy G is Shanahan. So I like Jimmy. I like Jimmy. Again. I said I don't know. I don't know. I like Jimmy, but I don't know. A part of me still kind of leans toward Jameis Winston. Like I'm a bigger proponent of Jameis Winston. Listen, I know he may give me 20. I know he may give me 20 interceptions in a season, but I also know he's going to give 45 touchdowns and 5,000 yards. Let's hope but also like I know, but see again, I need more than anything, I need a quarterback that will know how to use the weapons that we have. That's probably more than anything else. A quarterback that knows what that's going to be known, that's going to know what they're doing, or not afraid to take those. Not a shot to make, not afraid to make those throws. And that's the one thing I know about Jameis Winston. He's not afraid to make those throws. You give him Garrett Wilson for 1 year, and Garrett Wilson is going to have 1,300 yards in the season. Like that's how I feel. You give him Jimmy G, he may have 11. Who? But that's also what I'm worried about for Jimmy G though. Is staying healthy for a whole year as well. So if everybody that I'm talking about is QB, I have to worry about their health. I personally lean to Jameis Winston. I just know he's not I know for a fact he has no fear and I know that he rallies his troops. I don't know how Jimmy G rallies his troops. I know Jameis Winston still can rally a room. I don't know about Jimmy G's leadership style. I don't know how people follow him. I don't know how he motivates men. Actually, when he talks, he doesn't even sound like the generic football guy that motivates men. Like Jameis Winston says all that generic motivate football talk shit. He came in today and the grass was green and I knew it was a good football day and my ankles and your ankles are like your ankles are like your wrist and then your wrist for your feet and they're connected and everything's here and then you bend halfway at the hips and then if you feel your hips and your knees, you see your knees and your elbows and then into your thigh bones. Like I think Jameis Winston started taking shrooms. And I want him as my next quarterback. I do. Only because I'm trying to stay realistic. I don't want to say, oh, get me one. Let me say this. Let me say this wholeheartedly. I would never ever want Tom Brady as my quarterback. Ever. Under no scenario would I want Tom Brady as a quarterback for the Jets. What's that? I don't listen. You realize that if I'm not mistaken, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers made it into the playoffs with the worst league than anybody this season, and they probably have the better chance than half of all the teams. That sucks. I hate Tom Brady. I so hate Tom Brady. I would never ever want him as my quarterback. You know what? You want to lose me for a year and not talk about the Jets? Have Tom Brady be the quarterback. I wouldn't even talk about the Jets. Or I'll find a way to talk about the Jets and never ever mention Tom Brady's name. For a whole year, you guys will be wondering who the hell the quarterback for the Jets is. I'll only talk about him in drop form. And you know how I got here? It's because TCU still played better than the Jets and the Dolphins did. That game was horrendous. Playoff picture has been settled. So I'm only doing a 2-hour show today. This is what you guys know. We're only doing a 2-hour show today. You guys get 2 hours and 2 hours only. Because you got 20 more minutes of show. Playoff picture is set. Well, no, we'll get back into this. Right. But the playoff picture is set. And Obviously, if you guys don't know by now, the Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals will not be making up that game. DeMar Hamlin has been released from the hospital. And both Cincinnati and Buffalo played this week. And I know there was talks about if those two teams are going to possibly play this week. They were. Last week was for their boy. This week, last week they didn't play for their boy. This week they play for their boy. And oh my God, did they ever. Buffalo, they start off their game by running back the opening kickoff. Like, hey, yo, talking about we here with you, brother. We gonna put it all on the line in the beginning. Like that was just the beginning omen. That's all that was. That was really the beginning. The beginning omen to let you know, guys, know how that game was gonna go, and it really didn't stop. Buffalo end up beating. Crap, where's the score at? Buffalo end up beating New England 35-20. Mac Jones didn't look horrible. Well, New England didn't look horrible in the first half, which means that Mac Jones didn't look horrible either. Well, like they were holding their own. They held their own in the first half. They really did. Second half was just kind of all Buffalo Soldier. Dreadlock roster. 35-23. And there was a lot of disappointing games. Not just the Jets, right? Kansas City, they take care of their business, right? And they beat the Las Vegas Raiders. The Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Tennessee Titans. Jacksonville Jaguars made it to the playoffs. Tennessee Titans don't make it to the playoffs. They're one of those teams that made it in last year that doesn't repeat back this year. Was Las Vegas in that group too? I remember. Tampa Bay loses to Atlanta 17-30. But again, it didn't even matter. They was gonna make it to the playoffs anyway. Ironically, Tampa Bay's first round opponent, they'll probably end up beating. So you're gonna be looking forward to, what is this? Jesus. Tampa Bay and Philly? Is that who's going to play? No. Wait a minute. That can't be right. No. They'll play. Yeah. It's going to be Tampa Bay versus Philly in the next round. I'll have San Fran beating Seattle. I'll put the Giants over Minnesota. Tampa Bay winning their game. Philly got the bye. Let's see how this playoff picture is panning out. I need a playoff picture standing. That's what I need. So Kansas City locks down the number one spot, 14-3. Buffalo comes in number 2 with 13-3, representing the AFC East. Cincinnati comes in behind them at 12-4, representing the AFC North. And you got Jacksonville at 9-8, representing the AFC South. So there goes all of your division winners: Kansas City, Buffalo, Cincinnati, and Jacksonville. And then everybody else follows that in the AFC, all the second place teams. The Chargers 10-7 for the West, Baltimore 10-7 for the North, and Miami 9-8 for the East. And you have Philly coming in, right? They held down the West. Jalen Hurts, he played sure he played the last game to make sure that their team locked in their spot. Oh no, he was not about to risk that one. I'm telling you that one right now. Like they were not risking that one at all. San Francisco comes in number 2 at 13-4, represents the West. Minnesota 13-4 for the North. Tampa Bay with the worst record in the playoffs at 8-9 for the South. Then also coming out of East, you also have the Giants at 9-7-1, Seattle at 9-8 for the West. And there's also another team that joins the Giants as well, with a record of 12-5. Let's see if they're showing me. Because I want to see these brackets. I know Kansas City and Philly, they get their bye weeks. I really need to check out the rest of this brackets. So Seattle and San Fran. That's the first wild card game coming up on Saturday the 14th. Okay. So yeah, exactly how I was thinking it was going to play out. Cincinnati and Baltimore. So yeah, Tampa Bay is going to get Philly. See, that's the only scary thing. Against all of these young, inexperienced quarterbacks, their whole team is going to really have to find a dynamic way to blow out Tom Brady and Tampa Bay early and hold on to that lead all the way through. The NFC has scared me because the whole entire NFC looks wide, completely open to me. Only because there's so many young quarterbacks. Philly with a young quarterback, San Francisco with Jimmy G, right? Minnesota with a Kirk Cousins, and basically, as we know, Jimmy G is just a good-looking Kirk Cousins. Then you got Tampa Bay with the most experienced quarterback and winningest quarterback in the whole entire thing. And based off how he's been playing, he could even been beat this. He could even lose this year, or he could beat everybody. I feel like everybody could has an actual chance to win the NFC. This is crazy to me. I think I'm gonna be more interested in. I can't say that. I'm gonna be more interested in the NFC. What? I didn't. I didn't. I didn't make this up. This is not my. This is not my words. These are not. So there's an article that came out some time ago, right? And it listed all of the Kirk Cousins in the league, right? Basically, they had said that there's a few elite quarterbacks, and then everybody else is Kirk Cousins. They call Matt Ryan the old Kirk Cousins. They call the quarterback in Texas the black Kirk Cousins. Um, they call Jimmy G the good looking Kirk Cousins. Um, they called I think Baker Mayfield. Yeah, I don't talk about that team anymore until their owner denounces racism. I'm giving them the Kyrie Irving treatment. The mixed quarterback in Texas. They call him the black Kirk Cousins. Hmm. I think so. I'm pretty sure his mama white, ain't it? I see. Let me see something in Dak Prescott's parents. I'm pretty sure his mama white. Yeah. Wait, no, yeah, and like stereotypical like black dude met white chick white. like she's chunky Campbell soup white. Oh, now too. Okay, I didn't know about that, but I don't know if she's bald. I don't know. I don't know if she's bald now. But look like she may have a look like maybe a wrist. No, there's a picture of their bald. One of the pictures I see. But also in October she had hair, so I don't know. No, 1 month ago. Oh, no, yeah. So see, yeah, see, my sources were correct. You see, you always try to question my sources. So yeah, so like they ran through probably like 10 quarterbacks that were basically just Kirk Cousins. And granted, like you have to understand, like the real joke that they're all just average quarterbacks. Like that's really what they're saying. Like you have the three elite, you have your few elite core, but everybody else is just average quarterbacks. And so he went. So that's why now I called him the Black Kirk Cousins, and I called Jimmy G the good looking Kirk Cousins. So basically, now what these are all of Kirk Cousins' cousins. And I didn't realize that Kirk Cousins had like 10 cousins in the league until then. So now these are all Kirk Cousins' extended families. So now I don't know why I'm giving Kirk Cousins all of this shine, but now Kirk Cousins gets talked about now almost every time I talk about somebody else because now they kinfolk. I think they called if I'm not mistaken they called Daniel Jones the young Kirk Cousins. Um who was the short Kirk Cousins? Oh, so what were they? Oh, tell me what they were saying. Okay, wait. What? Okay, what year? Wait, I got a question for you. When were you watching Daniel Jones? Okay, continue. Because if you started watching them last year, you're right. But they weren't wrong up until then. But I'll let continue. I agree. I agree. You're right. Hey, we said it this like even the quarterbacks that are currently in the league now, that we consider mainly the good up and coming quarterbacks, they all sat. Patrick Mahomes, all of them sat a little bit. Hmm. But no, even the young ones. I mean, listen. Before Kyler Murray fully fell off, I think he sat. Josh Allen sat. Think a little bit. Lamar sat a little bit. Like they all sat a little bit. The next up and coming wave of quarterbacks that people consider all good, they all sat a little bit for the most part. The majority of them. Ah, okay, okay, okay. I actually like that math. So for like the big conference school, like the Joe Burrow school, you say in 1 year you should adopt. But if you're coming from Kentucky or BCU or some weird shit like that, you probably need 2 years. Okay, I would. Now, can I before I lose you, Chill Bill, and I'm gonna open up another feed. I am gonna now. I don't know exactly what some of those Giants fans were saying, but I'm gonna take up. I'm gonna take up for some of them because that the first 2.5 years, Daniel Jones was bad, and granted, there was a reoccurring issue that was happening with not only coaching but also an offensive line issue at the time, right? But also, but no, no, but also it was even more than that. Daniel Jones, the first two, that's actually when you started watching him because right now he's in year 4, and you said you started watching him sometime around last year. he had a turnover issue. Yeah, he started having a. You forget. You forget we had this drop for him because of how often he was turning over the ball.
Damn, Daniel. You turned over the ball again, Daniel.
Daniel Jones was averaging 2 turnovers a game at a point in time. 2 turnovers a game. So when they were talking about he was sucking, that's where it was coming from. So and listen, we've even like I said that was a drop that we made for him because for the first 2.5 years that's all he did. And then I do remember, right? It was somewhere halfway through his third. I'm like, I realized, like, damn, I haven't played this drop in a while. And then I realized this one. I'm like, yo, Daniel Jones started taking care of the ball. It was from that moment on. You can see, which is probably around the time we started watching. Was that moment on you can see that, okay, you know what? He needs coaching. But I'm telling you, that first 2.5 years, no, you couldn't tell. I'm telling you, Chill Will, those first 2.5 years, his turn. This is the only reason. Daniel Jones is probably the only reason why I've been telling Jets fans to probably calm down a little bit on Zach Wilson. Because I saw it take Daniel Jones 3 years to get it together. 2.5, but it's damn near 3 years I saw him to take to get it together. His first 2.5 years, all he did was. Yeah, and I don't like Mike White. Like every. Nope, we just lost Chill Will. Let's go ahead and listen. Well, sorry about that. We just lost Chill Will on the calling line. What we're gonna do? We're gonna go to a quick commercial break. I'm gonna go ahead and open up the next feed for Chill Will. I wasn't even planning on doing this. Right, and then we'll get right back into it, right? And if you guys don't know, we have as always for you guys a little bit of Blue Chew. See, right now you don't have to worry about. See, right now how we have to take a break and we have to stop and we have to reset ourselves and get things back in order. Now you don't have to worry about that when it comes to Blue Chew. What is Blue Chew? You ask. Oh, Blue Chew. This happens to be a little blue pill that can get you back your thrill. All you have to do is open up a pack and head straight to the sack. Just a few chews before you do. It has the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, so this is one opportunity that you just can't miss. She will love how you come through like a you. You can. I just forgot my lines. Hold up, 1 second. Let's back this up. Let's back this up. I really just forgot my lines. But she would love how you come through like a champ when you Blue Chew in advance, and you can beat it up like a boss for a very low cost. Basically, all right. If you use my promo code of GSSS, you can get your first order of Blue Chew for free. Yes, folks, free, free, for free. Only thing you have to worry about paying for it is your shipping in hand. That's about $5. Take care of your postal workers. You know, make sure they all right. That's all you really do over there. But yeah, use the promo code of GSSS Golf Sierra, and you can get your first order of Blue Chew for free. When it comes to Blue Chew, there is really only 2 instructions. You chew it and then you do it. How you do it is up to you. Like, listen, you could be a '70s baby. You want to do that shit like Lionel Richie. You know what I mean? Doing it all night long. You could be an '80s baby. You want to do it like LL Cool J. You could be doing it well. You know what I mean? You could be doing. You could be a '90s baby. You could be doing the butt, sexy. You know what I mean? Or you could go like Ludacris in the 2000s. You could lick it from her head to the toes, but you make sure that you stick it before you lick it. You know what I mean? Or you could just put it in her mouth. I said her motherfucking mouth. Like however you like to do it, that is up to you. Right? If you like to make your own truffle butter like that too. Right, Blue Chew. Again, there's only two instructions. Blue, you chew it and you do it. And listen. I know you're thinking like, hey, I'm good here. I don't need no Blue Chew. Well, that's exactly why. But maybe you drink every once in a while. You know, whiskey dick hits you. Blue Chew, it's like a natural cure for whiskey dick. let's just say that, you've been talking a lot of shit in the DMs. And you just want to make sure that you do all of the stuff that you said you're going to do in the DMs. Blue Chew it. Hey, let's say that you normally put in 6 rounds of work and you want to take your game up to 12. Blue Chew it. Listen, man, it ain't about what you need. It's about what you want. And what you want is to beat it up like some clap-on lights in this. Blue Chew. Never be blue again. We're back. Okay. I lost Chill Will over there, right? And to be honest with you, I was only gonna do another segment because of Chill Will. We'll give Chill Will some time to see if he gets back in here. I know we're about to wrap up here real soon. I only wanted to do an hour show anyway. Chill Will always gets me yapping. I even forgot what we were talking about. I know we got past the Jets. What were we talking about at this point in time? I don't even know. And I don't want to get into KD's injury yet so far. I think I can save this for Wednesday's show. So yeah, episode 502, live from Sharkey's. We're going to get into the Cardinals firing their head coach. We're going to talk about head coaches, period. Mike Tomlin, how he can't miss so far. We got MyT trivia coming up. We'll go ahead and we'll talk about KD and his injury. I don't even have to be discreet on my playoff picks. I think I already gave you my NFC so far, right? Where I have San Fran beating Seattle, but man, that's going to be interesting. I have the Giants beating Minnesota, and then we have Tampa Bay with a first week bye. Then we got Tampa Bay, and then we got Tampa Bay, Philly, and then San Francisco Giants. I'm gonna pick the Giants to beat. Now that's me just being a homer at this point. I'm gonna pick the Giants to beat San Francisco. Something's gonna go wrong for them. Hopefully, Philly beats Tampa Bay. But oh my god, well, how sweet would it be if now only in this scenario if the Giants get to beat Tampa Bay, right? Like Tampa beats Philly. And then the Giants beat San Fran. Next thing you know, the Giants are playing Tampa Bay in the Super or in the NFC Championship, and then the New York Giants become the third team to stop Tom in the championship. That would be sweet. That would be sweet, and then to meet a senorita in the morning. That'll be sweeter than to eat a new vagina in Carolina. However that song go. Ah, damn! Look at these BBWs. Stop digging in your booty crack, girl. It's an always flex commercial, BBW style. AFC. How attached am I to the AFC? Is it 2 hours already? Have we given you 2 hours of good joke? We're giving you 2 hours and 9 minutes. I think we'll talk AFC. Excuse me. We'll talk AFC on Wednesday's show. I don't see a lot of issues going on here until I start having to determine the final four, or until I'm trying to bring it down from the final four to the final two, like and the Super Bowl. Like Jesus, bringing it to the final four is easy. Right? It's who's gonna win between. It's really who's gonna win between Buffalo and Cincinnati. That's really it. And then the fact that they get their rematch. And then See, I'm telling you, these are the three teams. This is why I say that the AFC and the NFC are so different. The NFC, I feel like any one of these teams, like, you can honestly convince yourself that any one of these teams from Seattle on up can get the proper break to go to the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, you couldn't fully convince me that Seattle can't make it to the Super Bowl. You can't fully convince me that the Giants can't make it to the Super Bowl. You can give me some good reasons, but you'll never fully convince me. You can't fully convince me that that Texas team won't make it. Can't make it to the Super Bowl. Actually, they'll be probably the one team that you can't convince me that they can make it. Like, they're the one team. You can okay. They're the one team you can probably convince me that they can't make it. But you can't convince me Tampa Bay doesn't have a chance and can't make it. You can't convince me Minnesota can't make it, but they're my team with the second least odds. You can't convince me that San Francisco or Philly can't make it. I think Seattle may be my third. That's my third least odds. It's like Dallas for me, Minnesota, and then Seattle. Just because. When it comes to the AFC, I'm sorry. It's Kansas City, Buffalo, Cincy. But can I tell you, you definitely see the pattern right here. When it comes to the AFC, and we're going to leave you at this, you definitely see the pattern of what's next to come, right? Jacksonville sitting at number 4 with Trevor Sunshine Lawrence, right? Think about you think about their team and their quarterback. The LA Chargers, right, with Justin Herbert. The Baltimore Ravens with Lamar Jackson. And then the Miami Dolphins with Tua got a tongue twister. All of that is that next wave of young quarterback talent. So while we think that top 3 is going to be here as that monster for a while, we've been praising Justin Herbert for a while now, hoping that Lamar Jackson can get his ish together. You see the upside of Trevor Lawrence, and that very last spot where Miami Dolphins are at, and Tua got a tongue twister. You probably never know. That'll be the one spot that's probably going to always be up for grabs. Right? And we're talking about young up and comers. Let's see here. Let's bring up this playoff picture again. Yeah, see? I'm trying to find I'm gonna look at the teams I'm gonna try to take a look at all the teams that are eliminated. And I'm trying to figure out who's the other young quarterbacks in the AFC. I can't count. Okay, so I'm not going to count the Jets. I'm not even going to be disrespectful like that. But, nope. So, that's actually funny. It probably really is the Tua got a tongue twister and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then Mac Jones in New England, maybe. I'm going to tell you right now. I know this is odd to say, but take a good snapshot of these 7 teams this year in the AFC. This is really your future. It really is. Add Pittsburgh in there, add New England in there. right, as your 1 through 9. That's your AFC for the next 5 years. It probably is going to look like until the Jets get their shit together. Tennessee may come back in there a couple of years. Maybe Cleveland, maybe Houston, right? Like some of those teams may come back in there, but there goes your future, right? That's it. Take a snapshot right here. This is a great snapshot of the future of the AFC. The other guys haven't been quite drafted yet. Don't know what kind of pick it is, but we know what Mike Tomlin's going to do. We know what Bill Belichick is going to do. So those guys will always be lingering around to make things hard on Miami, to make things hard on Jacksonville, to make things hard on Baltimore. So while the AFC may not be as tight right now, I'm telling you right now, I'm telling you, if let's say this was 3 years down the road from now, right? And these were the teams that were in the playoffs with their quarterbacks fairly healthy, whatever, right? I'm telling you right now, it's a complete crapshoot. 3 years down the road from now, if Tua got a tongue twister, Lamar Jackson, Sunshine, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, right? Patrick, your end zone is Mahomes. All those guys are in the playoffs again at the same time. We're gonna be looking at something special. Like I said, and don't just out Mac Jones. Just don't count out Tyler Pickett. Don't count those guys out. There's something there. There's something there. There's something special happening in the AFC. That's 9 teams deep. And that's like I said, that's not counting the Jets that can possibly make waves depending if they get their ish together. That's not counting Cleveland. That's not counting Tennessee, who have good and interesting pieces. Man, we're gonna cut ourselves out of here. We're gonna get out of here for the night. We're done. I'm just telling you. On both sides, not only is the playoffs very interesting this year, right? Man, you see all of that young talent everywhere. Let's see, Philly, San Francisco, and Jimmy G already got some years on him. Minnesota and Tampa Bay and Dallas, and is that considered young anymore? That's crazy. Seattle and yo, wait a minute. Cause Seattle, Geno Smith's been in the league like 10 years. We know Tom Brady's been in the league like 22 years, right? We know Kirk Cousins has been in the league over 10 years. I can't remember how long. I don't think Dak has been in the league for 10 years yet. He may be like around like year 7, maybe. And so may Jimmy G. Or maybe, no, Jimmy G I think is at 10 years. Let's see. Jimmy G was drafted 2014. So he's about 9 years in. That's interesting. All of the experienced quarterbacks in the NFC. Interesting. You got Philly's quarterback who's barely been in the league about 2-3 years. And then you got Daniel Jones. This may be his 4th year, 5th year. Yeah, there's some years over there. I think Justin Herbert is right around like 5th year. Lamar Jackson's like right around 5th year. Joe Burrow, what's this, his 3rd year, 4th year? Patrick Mahomes, I think maybe like around year 7. Hmm. Man, listen, I know you guys have been one. I don't know if you guys have ever wondered what's the future of this an NFL is going to be looking like. It's looking pretty damn good. I'm just taking a picture. Oh, Chillwell, you're here now. I forgot what you were saying right before you left. But have you seen the teams in the AFC right now? And just really look at the teams in the AFC. If you didn't hear me while I was talking about that, and look at the quarterbacks that are supposed to be on these teams. And you look at it like, damn, this is probably the future of the AFC right here. This is a really good snapshot of the future of the AFC. And we're not even counting. I'm talking about quarterback, like all quarterbacks, right? Not even counting what Bill Belichick still can possibly do or draw out of Mac Jones, or what Mike Tomlin can do or draw out of Kyler Pickett. I don't know. That's special to me. I like that. I don't know. I'm looking at this and I'm looking 3 years down the line. And while I think this year the playoffs is super top heavy between Kansas City, Buffalo, and Cincinnati, if we were to be looking at the same picture 3 years down the road, I would be talking about the AFC the same way I'm talking about the NFC right now, where I'm talking like I don't know who could win because you can't convince me that not every single one of these guys have a chance. You know what, folks? It's about 2 o'clock in the morning, right? I think I'm good here. Listen, we'll pick right back up with this on Wednesday's show. Like I said, I'll go over my AFC predictions. I already gave you my NFC predictions already. I have the opinion between Philly and the New York Giants. Maybe Tampa Bay and the New York Giants. But I really don't want to see that. And we'll talk about the AFC a little bit more on Wednesday. And I think I'll see you guys then. Until then, you guys continue to stay safe, stay blessed, don't stress, right? One hand wash the other, both hand wash the face kind of shit. Continue to transform yourself into the kind of individual that you want to work for you. Like all that good stuff. You know what I mean? But more important, just continue to stay my T.